Royalties of peace, stilling the storm, back to peace that has no storm, looking unto perfect peace. How are we all doing today? It is the 21st of February 2024. Yes, this beautiful month is almost getting over. Must we keep on honoring our Black History Month throughout the year? Black History Month of the USA affects the whole world. And also our journey of peace tilling the storm back to peace that has no storm, looking unto perfect peace. Understanding the place of thinking, the pondering place. The place of pondering is like slavery, but a process, an initial step to wellness. Why am I enslaved? Must I say, if there's anyone wearing flesh today, that person is enslaved. If anyone is experiencing another wearing flesh, that same person is enslaved. What am I saying? Wherever there is a complicated state, there is enslavement. Enslavement is the place of solving a problem. There is a problem. What is slavery? A problem. There is a problem that must be solved. And this problem cannot get away with until solved. We cannot get away with the problem until solved. That is what is called slavery. You have no choice but to complete your work of slavery. You cannot leave it halfway. You must complete it. Even when you flee from the place of enslavement, you are still enslaved in the mind. Emancipate yourself from mental slavery is what we are going through today, of not only being blacks, but being humans, but being in a place where we have questions of who we are, where are we going. Even when we know where we are, we still experience some not satisfied with where we are. Are we really different people? Why are we not acting all the same? Why are we not all the same? Why don't we have all the same opinion? Why do we have different opinions? It is enslavement, a problem that needs to be solved. There is no escape until it is solved. The need for freedom, the need for freedom. Having this Black History Month is to help us to recover the need to journey. To complete this journey, you must be a sojourner. A sojourner. Last Wednesday, we talked about Valentine's Day. It was all about Valentine's Day. It was a Wednesday and it was a beautiful Valentine's Day. I hope we did enjoy Valentine's Day and still enjoying Valentine's Day, because Valentine's Day, it's at its peak. Must be able to endure love even when there's hate. When you enjoy hating someone, try to endure love. Just try. Just try to love that one, even when they are so mean. And what you can really do to satisfy yourself is hating on them. Punching on them will satisfy you. But love is what you need. Love, loving the one that is like hating on you can look like slavery, but it is the solution to the enslavement. Love. How do you love someone that is still hating on you no matter how much love you give to them? Love does not exhaust. Never say that your love is exhausting. Never say you're getting exhausted of loving. Please, it is impossible. You may only be addicted to hate, not that you get exhausted of loving someone. Let us be careful how we talk, how we express ourselves, so we do not get entangled in more complications than what we already have of wearing flesh or being where We are trying to figure out who we are and where we are. Some say they found heaven, but how can you say you found heaven when some are still in hell? When you still have a sight of hell, you haven't found heaven. Maybe close to heaven, you could say, but not you found heaven. Sojourners, sojourners, all about love. Last Wednesday, we talked about St. Valentine, our love of the month, all about St. Valentine. We all are St. Valentine. We all want to get married. We want to unify. We want to be one. We want to flee from war and prefer unity. But this marriage, if this marriage has to be a marriage that falls into pieces, what's the point? We must be able to get married of expected. We must be able to unify of expected. Today, I want us to talk about our humble sojourner truth, a Black female activist of the civil rights of America. The civil rights of Black Americans is still the civil rights of Americans. Please. I know sometimes we try to differentiate between the two so that we can really understand um, who was doing what, but it was all about Americans because when you save the child, you also save the parents. When you save the one who is being bruised, you save the one bruising the other because both are also Blacks. They are all struggling with the complication. A slave master is a slave of self, and a slave is struggling with the slave of the other being a slave. Just like nurses, nurses are also patients. If we understand nurses are patients, we'll be very careful how we are patients to them, not to complicate their abilities of caring for us. Two, dreamers. Two dreamers, slave masters and slaves. A slave master is only a pro slave. It's very, very sad how it sounds, but after having children, it makes so much sense. A slave master is only a pro slave because you have so much to regret about than a child can. You may have every reason why you are drumming on a child, but the child does not understand why until the child grows up. And if the child has to grow up recovering of what is right and why being drummed upon and having no one to drum on, they stay safe. But you who have been drumming on them have a guilt. No one likes to be hurt. We are not people who hurt people. Humans don't hurt people. Humanity is life. Hue for life. Hue for life. Our Lord Sojourner Truth. Orisha Sojourner Truth. It is said that her real name is, I'll call her Orisha, please. Orisha Isabella Free, because she is ascended and no longer with us of human flesh. She was conceived 1797 and advanced November 26 of 1883. So familiar with me. I was conceived 1983, so I kind of relate with this beautiful sojourner. I really relate with her. And it says that she's an American abolitionist, an activist for African American civil rights, women's rights, and alcohol temperance. Alcohol temperance, confusion of the mind. This is just a story of one person, a piece of the whole that we see, a whole big red, just the drop of this whole big red. Everybody's playing the same story, is what I'm realizing. It's really true that history plays itself back and forth, but why is the question? Why? Why are we playing history back and forth? We haven't solved the problem. We keep on going around the problem, not solving it. And that's why we keep on coming back. We keep on coming back. We keep on having children over and over. If we find the reason why we are having children, the real reason why we should even stop having children, then we have reached the solution to our problem. What is it that we're trying to solve that we keep on having children? that must think about it. We are not descending children. We are trying to solve, we're trying to solve a problem. But how long do we keep on descending children to find a solution? We keep on upgrading, thinking what we have right now is not enough. Have I said it is enough to know what water is like of a drop in your hand than going to the ocean to know what water is like? We need not the whole human existence, but just a few is enough to solve the problem. Having more coming down is telling us we haven't solved the problem. We're not able to. What is this victory of us being humans? We all are the same. Saying that this generation is upgraded is just a blindfold. Yesterday was also upgraded. Do we want to become transparent before we know we are upgraded of the mind? We are a battlefield free. Civil rights, women's rights, alcohol, temperance. They need to humble ourselves from arrogance and low self-esteem. The women's right is for recovering from low self-esteem. Alcohol temperance is reversing from arrogance. Civil rights, equality, the need for humble pride. It says that she was conceived a slave in Swatakil, New York, but escaped with her infant daughter to freedom in 1826. But she had more than one child. After going to court to recover her son in 1828, she became the first Black woman to win such a case against a white man. Black and white. Winning a case against a Black man or winning a case against a white man, both are victors, so long it is for good. Winning a case is not just what we need, but winning it for good. If I can win a case stopping you to kill someone, it's also your victory. It's time for us to understand what some of these our beautiful ones did for us. It was not just about being Black victors, but a human victory. We enabled humanity victory. We enabled humanity victory. A Black slave becoming free is humanity victory, not just being Black. Black History Month is a celebration for humanity victory. Please, I hope we are understanding. I hope we are understanding what we are trying to express here of our generation, 2024. The 21st century must speak of a mind of completion and not a complicated state. She gave herself the name Sojourner Truth in 1843. She gave her name, all right? She gave her name. No one gave the name to her. You don't have to wait for someone to give you a name. Give yourself the right name. When you come to your senses, you give yourself the right name. Do not be struggling with a complicated name. I was called this, and that's what has made me. You grow up, you give yourself your true name. Find yourself and give yourself your true name. Be born again. Become true to yourself. Overcome your shadows by reversing them to light. She was convinced that God had called her to leave the city and go into the countryside, testifying to the hope that was in her. Her best known speech was delivered in 1851 at a women's rights convention in Ohio. The speech became widely known during the Civil War, titled, "Aren't I a Woman?" What is that to us, humans? Am I not complicated? Or am I not in a complicated state? Woman means low self-esteem. Man means arrogance, not pride. We both suffering from the lack of pride. Pride means humble pride. Pride is not arrogance. When someone says do not be too proud, it's mistaken for arrogance. Do not be too arrogant. When you're arrogant, do not make it too much because the other becomes of low self-esteem. Fighting for women, next month is Women's Month, which is why I'm bringing this up for us to really reflect upon traveling this road gracefully, pasting the storm back to peace that has no storm, looking unto perfect peace. No one left behind, not even a female child. It's amazing how she found herself and made herself useful, not waiting for someone else to find her. And even when she found herself, she did not let the others to be the ones to find themselves. Because she was able to find herself didn't mean she had to give up on herself. Herself was not all complete, why she had to go out and encourage others to recover. Parting from us November 26, 1883, she is kept, her remains kept at Battle Creek. She wasn't kept in New York. She was kept in, I'm sorry, we are talking about Sojourner Truth, Mama Isabella, our one and famous abolitionist. She was kept in Michigan. She was kept in Michigan. I won't call it a cemetery. Cemeteries are like monuments. Her remains there is air. Ice sublimes. Ice is air. All we see of the physical is air. She is no longer of flesh. She is now of the mind. All of our ancestors are of the mind. All what we have of their remains, we call their remains, are only just symbols of them left behind for us, not for them. More of like monuments. I hope this beautiful memory of one of us help us to realize where we are today. Of one, we all. We all are one. The same story, trying to cease from war. The same story like that of Saint Valentine, a sojourner rescuing people from complicated states of being, from war. Alcohol temperance is a battlefield of the mind. What does that mean to us? Slave or slave masters are both having a battlefield of the mind. We must become of temperance. We must become of humbleness. Now, the humbleness takes unifying together. She's trying to unify people. St. Valentine trying to unify people. Different forms of unifying, but for the same reason it must be to stay close to each other, not parting from each other. Our staying close to each other should not be descending others down, but all ascending. We are on the journey of peace stilling the storm, back to peace that has no storm, looking on to perfect peace. I am a woman. Must I ask myself, aren't I a woman? If I say yes, I am, meaning that I am only diagnosing myself, reversing to the mind. The woman must become the mind. The man must become the mind. And not just any kind of a mind, but the mind, perfect peace. The mind free from battlefields. The mind, perfect peace. Are you a man? Aren't I a man? That is an awareness of arrogance. Being the head and being the tail. Arrogance and low self-esteem cannot be. We must be one. There is no head, there is no tail, but one. Battlefield free. Am I the top or the base? There is no top, there is no base. We're supposed to be one, and that's the mind. Ascending should be all ascending, not descending another. Our sojourning, our journey of the sojourners, the sojourners, our journey of the sojourners. We are the sojourners of this journey. The journey should not be the sojourner. We are the sojourners of this journey. Must we journey of truth, of who we are, battlefield free mind. I hope this beautiful expression of our Orisha, Isabella, enable us to recover of our ability of humanity to advance to perfect, none left behind. An African biography of a Black female activist, which we can look upon to see what all the Black women were up to, none left behind. Supporting white or Blacks should be for freedom. Even when you're against freedom, you're only saying, and I, a slave master, and I, a slave maker. And when you tell yourself, yes, I am, it means I must seek my wellness of becoming one of freedom. Let's free ourselves being of slave masters. Let's free ourselves from being slaves. Let's free ourselves from being man and woman. Let's free ourselves from the complicated state of ice and liquid. Must we advance to gaseous state, perfect, or battlefield free? No collisions, no complications. It comes from both sides. Making yourself of low self-esteem makes the other to step on you and also stepping on themselves. Must we be trying to arise from low self-esteem, staying with humble pride, while the others also are reversing from their complicated state of arrogance back to humble pride? Sojourners. We are sojourners. We are travelers. Sojourning in a place tells us we have come from somewhere. A process of traveling should not be for too long. Sojourners for too long of humanity in a complicated state. Must we finally complete this complicated state and reverse to the uncomplicated? We are sojourners on a journey. We must complete this journey. This is a temporary place, a wholly temporary place, a place of healing. Holy meaning healing. We are healing. Let us not prolongate our time here in the complicated state, but journey safely of journey mercies to the perfect destination, battlefield free of the mind. Sojourner truth. We are sojourner truth. Let us take this with us today and be of expected and advanced according to our state today of technology, reaching out to the whole world and not just to the blacks, but to our complicated state of being. The pondering state is what is black. Black is power. Black is power. The pondering state is power. Must reach its destination perfect, of none left behind. Becoming light is reversing from the complicated state to wellness. Awareness of our weakness is seeking wellness. Awareness of darkness is seeking light. Awareness of being a slave or a slave master is seeking freedom. I hope this beautiful message today awaken us from this division of self. We are humanity, not just being black, not just being white, of the skin tone, but of humanity of a battlefield, complicated state of being. Must we apply knowledge, thank goodness for education and experiences and history of our ancestors. We are able to make ourselves today of expected to complete this journey. We are sojourners, true sojourners. Be a sojourner of truth, not divided. Thank you for watching. The Love Month, completing the Love Month with so much truth of love. Thank you all for watching. Peace steals the storm back to peace that has no storm, looking on to perfect peace.